tell you now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm gonna tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. That's it.
Peace, man.
Peace. Wavy Da Ghawd was good, my digger.
Sorry about the delay, man. I was just finished eating some food. I looked down, I looked at the time, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. What's
Peace,
good?
man. No, I'm chilling. I hope I didn't have you waiting too long, man.
Yeah, I was about to cut off. I was like, oh, son, is a no-show.
No, I ain't gonna do that to you, brother.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So Wavy Da Ghawd, man, where you from?
Well, I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn in Kings County. And I lived most of my life in Florida. Like after I left the hospital, I damn near, went straight to Florida from there.
what part?
I lived in Little Haiti for a bit. I lived in Kendall for a bit. I lived in North Miami. I lived all over in South Florida, like all up in Hollywood, Hollandale. You know what I'm saying? I lived in mostly predominantly in the southern South Florida area.
Word. So you in Brooklyn now?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Okay, cool. So yo, how did this whole beat making thing start for you? Was you rhyming first, DJing? What happened?
Well, for me, like back in the day, like in high school, I used to I was one of those cats. I used to like get in the ciphers and rhyme and shit. But like, I never took it too serious. It took like years later, like when years later, I ended up doing farm work in Oklahoma. I was living on a farm, 100 acres of land type shit, and I was bored as shit, and I was heavily in tune into hip hop already. So long story short, I learned how to make beats out there in the middle of nowhere. I learned a new craft, and my cousin that live out in New York, still is right now, told me like I should take my shit to NYC. Niggas will appreciate the shit, because I took the shit to Florida. After I left the farm area, I took the shit to Florida. I wasn't getting the reception I was like, and then I took the shit to NYC.
Right. So growing up in Florida, I mean, you could have went left with it. Why the boom bap lo-fi sound?
Man, it was just my first love, man. It was just the thing that I was brought up on. That sound is always going to be like timeless. It's timeless. It's like something that can't be like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm not throwing shade of what the newer cats are doing right now, because it's always these guys have their own type of innovation, but it's like it's the same cadence of disco versus classic jazz or something like that. That the type of sound that I'm doing, that is like it's like the modern jazz. It's timeless. You feel me?
Word.
That's how I perceive it. That's how I view it.
So what was your first weapon of choice when it came to making beats?
Well, the DAW that I was using was just the basic shit, starter shit of FL Studio at the time. And what else? I had like a Alesis V25 keyboard, some shit like that, man. It ain't nothing crazy. I wasn't using MPC. I didn't know how to use the MPC in the beginning, but as time progressed, I switched over different software. I started using the MPC more, things of that nature.
Right. So what are you using now?
I use Kaya Studio Black. I just use just the MPC controller right now.
Gotcha.
And the software.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question, because I mean, just judging from your beats, I can tell you dig for sounds, right? I know you're a digger. Now, are you digging online, or are you digging actually digging in the crates?
Well, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I don't have the luxury to just go and just buy records like that, because I don't really have the space to put records, so I just go digital. You know what I'm saying? I'll go around wherever I'm at. If I hear something that just sticks out, I'll Shazam it. I'll do whatever I can to find whatever I could. I like, it could be just a siren out in the street. I'll sample it. I have a sampler on my phone. I sample my friends, little weird sounds. Like whatever I could find, I'll sample.
Word. I was earlier today before this interview, I was pumping that new Eddie Kane that you did at 1224.
That's correct.
Yeah, that shit was fire. I was like, yo, you really them sounds, you really dig deep.
Yes,
You really
yes, man.
Deep. That joint was fire. So how did you link up with like Eddie Kane and you know
Eddie
how that
Kane,
happened?
shout out to Eddie Kane, man. That's the brethren right there, man. Just to let you know, me and Eddie Kane share the same birthday. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? That's why the name of the album is called 1224. We're both born on December 24th. You know, different years though, but like that's what. And then you know how I met Eddie Kane. I met Eddie Kane through the homie Rim the villain. You know what I'm saying? And him and Rim were doing music constantly at the time. And at the time, we was building our collective, the Walkers. And then it was just natural, man. It was just natural brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like it just came together. It was some Brooklyn shit. You know what I'm saying? We was creating our own faction, and everybody was like-minded. Me and Eddie Kane got our own special relationship as far as like on a brotherly level, because it's like me and him talk about a lot of things, and we're like-minded because you know it's just the signs. I'm not heavy in the zodiacs, but I strongly feel like me and him have like the same cadence of spirit. It's like we complement each other on some shit. So that's my bro right there.
You also did full court press with Spoda, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, that was fly too. How'd you link up with Spoda out there in Long Island?
My man Bub Rock, man.
Ah,
The MC Bub Rock. Shout out to Bub Rock. Bub Rock connected the dots with that one. He knew Spoda from because he's from the LI as well, man. So
right.
he connected that with me. When I first came to New York City, I was just trying to find a way to just get projects done, man. And you know, Spoda was, you know, up and coming as well. So we all still up and coming, but like, you know, it just worked. It worked because he is a dope ass rapper, and he needed a producer to exploit that, and so, because there wasn't really any producers that was gravitating to him at the time. But like, you know, on the strength of Rock at the time, I connected with him, and then we created that you know, that cult classic, you know.
Word, word. That's what's up. So I saw you on the gram one time, and you was kind of going in talking about, yo, you need the bag. You want some beats? See me with the bag. You not? I mean, has that been an issue? Has that been an issue in the past? People wanting free beats?
Man, it's a constant thing, man. They think it's like let me tell you something. Like I'm an impressionable person, you know. I'm easy to approach. You know, if anybody in my circle is not approachable, I'm the person they approach because I walk on both sides of the fence, if you know what I'm saying. I could talk to these guys, I could talk a business language with you, or I could talk some hood shit with you, or in between. It's whatever you want. Like I'm that guy. So I'm easier to talk to, and sometimes people misunderstand that easy is like a Tempur-Pedic pillow. Like I lay out for niggas. But when I first meet them, and they feel like, okay, I could get shit off of this guy because he's approachable and he seems easy go lucky. But I'm not easy go lucky because this is my 9 to 5. I don't work for Marshalls. I don't pump no gas for no motherfucker. I don't do construction work. I don't do none of that shit on the side. I put all my chips into this hip hop shit, into this production shit. So I want, at the end of the day, I want niggas to respect that shit, and respect that shit like how they respect going inside of Ralphie. They buy their clothes because you can't negotiate with Ralphie, can you?
Nope.
All right, you can't negotiate with what's the other, Dior. You can't negotiate with them niggas. You can't negotiate with none of these niggas. You can't negotiate with Pharrell, can you?
Nope.
Don't play that shit with me. That's all I'm trying to say. No hate. Excuse my passion. I just feel passionate about that, and I'm speaking for other cats because there's other producers that feel the same way, you know. And it's just that it's a respect level. It's like, you know, I feed my kid with this shit. I pay my rent with this shit. You know what I'm saying? If you like this shit, pay for it, my man's. If you feel like you're gonna go somewhere with my production, if you strongly feel like you're gonna go somewhere with my production, pay for the service, my man. That's it. And trust me, I will put optimum backing behind it. I won't leave. I won't just sell you a beat and won't back you. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna pay, if you're gonna spend that much bread with me, I will back you on that. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
What fair
Word.
is fair.
Word. So you put out these projects. We know you sample based. I mean, clearing samples, has that been an issue for you, or have you been
Nope.
able to slither?
Nope. most of the time, if I was to like sell a beat to somebody, um, and if they were like funded by a label, if they have a label that's over there sponsoring the you know, the purchases, or whatever it may be. It'll be on the artist to get that sample cleared. You know,
Right.
it'll have to be on the artist to get that sample cleared. If I was the one that doing pushing the pencil for projects, for my projects, and if I got pressed for a sample, I would have to take care of that. But if it's for artists, they would have to like go and get that sample cleared because it's their record.
Right.
It's our record, but it's mostly their stamp is on it.
Right.
And that's who, and by law, that's who they're gonna go for.
Gotcha. All right, so
By law.
let's talk some beat science, because this is strictly for my diggers. So we're gonna dig deep into some beat science and whatnot. So
go for it.
when you cut on the equipment, I mean, what are you going for first? Are you going for the drums first, or you going for the samples?
I'm elusive, man. I sometimes I do the drums first. If I know I want my beat to be, if I want my drums to be prominent, and like I'm approaching this beat like, because sometimes I do my beats and I'll put no drums on my shit. You know what I'm saying? But if I know that I want my beat to be smacking, like I want the drums to be prominent, I'll go and I'll take special care with the drums first. You know what I'm saying? Because once I do the drums and if I get them shits right, everything else will fit. Everything else will fit. Right. Everything else is water after that. Everything will fit in that container.
True.
You dig?
Dig. So so what ranges are your BPMs?
Man, my BPMs are infinite. I don't know how they tell you. I don't know how to articulate it no better than that. I don't have like a set range BPM. I mean, if there's one that's common that I use, let's just say what, 70 to what, 85, 86.
Okay.
But I'm a dude that I work in double time too. I do records in double time. I've done records in 200 BPM. I've done records at 40 BPM. And sometimes you would never know. It depending on how the sample is chopped. Right. But I've done, and sometimes you just, most producers, they get stuck because you just gotta like fuck with them BPMs and pitches. Because when you fuck with your pitches and your BPMs, it will bring a whole nother character to that sample, to that chop.
Right.
It really would. It's very basic. And I see guys get stuck like, oh, the shit won't fit right or whatever. Just play with the pitches, time stretch, things of that nature.
Right. Yeah. And since we're talking on the subject of beat science, do you prefer looping or chopping? Which do you prefer better?
Well, I mean, when I loop, I basically chop, so it's all in the same thing to me, because a loop meaning like a 2-bar loop, 4-bar loop, it varies. Sometimes I've done an 8-bar loops before and that shit flew. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I can't really say that I could go with either or. It's just whatever feels good. I don't really have the preference on those. It's like this shit got to feel good.
Right.
If like sometimes I'll just start the beat, I'll start the production with the intention of just building a whole bunch of chops stacked on each other. And sometimes it'll be like, damn, I'll just leave it with this one loop right here. This loop is crazy. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm sitting in a room with a bunch of rappers and they starting to rap on just a 2-bar loop, what I'm gonna do? What am I to do? There's like 3 other guys sitting here rapping their ass off to just a 2-bar, and I would then, with this intention with me to build more onto it. There's no point building onto it at this point because everybody is satisfied. They have room to breathe. They're showing me they have room to breathe. They're satisfied as the painter,
Yeah, true indeed.
So I like making beats with other MCs in the room. It lets me know that where to go. Sometimes I know where to go. I'm my own great navigator, but like it's even better when you have a co-navigator there and they're letting you know that the direction you're going is the right place,
right?
Not the abyss.
True indeed. So who's on your wish list that you want to work with next? What MCs you would have in mind right now?
Once upon a time I had one of those. I don't know, man. It's like I'm so like not caught up in like the hype anymore. I always say Ghostface. I always say Ghostface killer. It will never change. Ghostface is like my favorite MC ever. Like If it ain't that, then I don't see nothing else. I'm working with a lot of great motherfuckers right now. You know what I'm saying? People will expect me to say, "Oh, Griselda," but like, I can't do that. I mean, it'll be a blessing to get a record with them, but it's not, you know, they wouldn't be on the top. I mean, like, everything will work itself out
Right.
if everybody was meant to be on the same plateau in the same arena, you know.
Right. Now, there's another artist that you're working with that is climbing the ranks steadily, Rome Streets. How did you link up with Rome Streets?
Man, it's ironic. The second I touched Brooklyn, I met Rome Streets. Kind of, it's in a weird way, man. Like, because I reached out to him. When I reached out to him, it was like people were paying attention, but they were not paying attention to him. You know, and then like I was just the guy that was just trying to like work with people. I was like my whole sole purpose, my mission was to like when I got here, was to like link with motherfuckers and exploit my talents. And that's what I did for Rome Streets. And he took a liking to me, man. And he ended up becoming a really good friend of mine, man. Like outside the music type shit, that's actually like my bro.
Right.
Like that's like people say that shit for the media and all that shit. Like I wholeheartedly mean that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On some shit.
So when you say you came up here and you ready to work, would you say you were you giving away beats at that time, or were you still selling?
Man, I was giving away like 8 beats for like 120, crazy shit. I was giving away beats to like a whole bunch of niggas. Hit or miss. I just knew that like in order to be great, you had to take a risk. In order to be great, and anything that you had to do, you had to get out your comfort blanket, get your head out your ass, not eliminate the ego. So I was just handing out beats left and right, hit or miss, and it got me somewhere. Look, you know, got me linked up with Rome. You know, I worked with dudes like D.I.G.G.A.Z, my man Sauce Heist. You know what I'm saying? I got placements with Planet Asia. You know what I'm saying? Just on the strength of me just giving out free beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here in front. Like a lot of dudes gotta see that the reality is that if you think that you're just gonna get the bag off the first drop you do, that's like on some shit. That's not gonna happen. Let me tell you something. Like when my shit got first played on the radio, I was damn near sleeping on the street. My mans would tell you right here. I was damn near sleeping on the streets. I was sleeping in my man's car. I was sleeping on my man's floor. I was like all type of shit. But I persevered, you know, like, but I love this shit. I believed in my craft. That comfort level, that feeling of not being comfortable drove me to try to go to that next level. You know what I'm saying?
True indeed. True indeed. And I see on the gram today you linked up with Buck Wild, the legendary Buck Wild. How did that go?
Peace to Buck Wild, man. Shout out to him, man. He showed me, man, look. Buck Wild, man, that's the homie right there, man. Like he came in humbly on some shit and just started dropping mad jewels. Just let me know that we were like more similar than we thought. That, you know, because I grew up listening to this cat, you know what I'm saying? So for him to sit there and like look at my life and be like, yo, this cat is just like me, that made me feel like all the shit that me going to the studio sometime with my daughter, because I was the nigga that was going in the studio with my daughter around all these dudes. My daughter's meeting a whole bunch of legends, future legends, all type of shit. But I had to bring her around because I'm a single parent. Buck Wild and me could relate in that way because he done the same thing. He been in that same thing, and he was sharing that with me, and I appreciate him for sharing that with me, you know?
Right. So what's next?
Man, I got like 7 albums sitting on my phone right now, man, ready to blast off. I'm just not thirsty to like put them out too quick because I just understand the dynamics of fucking exclusivity, you dig? Like when you oversaturate yourself, you starting to taste like what's the name of that drink, that cheap ass thick ass drink, Tampico?
Yeah,
true. Man. You don't want to put out Tampico. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put out that thick ass liquid. You want your shit to be just right, the right mixture, man. You don't want your shit to be over diluted. You don't want your shit to be over syrupy. You want your shit to be just right, so people could consume that shit wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying?
Word, true indeed. Now, have you ever
But I'll
had?
tell you what.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. What I was
But
going to ask you is like, I know you as a beat maker, you make a beat and you have a certain topic for the beat in mind. Have you ever gave it to the artist and they just something totally left?
shit, that's a good ass question.
Because you might have a beat that might be like, yo, this is a chick song right here. You give it to them, they do some gangster shit to it.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened before. It happened many a times. I made beats with the intent. A song came out yesterday. That beat was an intent to be an R&B joint, and that ended up being a rap song talking about chicks. But like it kind of fell sort of, but it wasn't the intent.
Right.
Yeah,
true indeed. Because like, me being a beat maker myself, you know what I mean? A lot of times it's like, yo, I don't want the MC to start rhyming right here. Especially when you email a beat to them or whatever, and you got in mind where you want them to, start at. But they start where they want to start at. You know what I mean? That ever happened too?
What? Rephrase that question again.
All right, so
I got a little distracted.
Now you got a beat. You make a beat, and you're like, okay, this is where the MC I want him to come in at. Okay. But he gets the beat and he comes in wherever he wants to come in at. Has it ever?
That's daily. That's daily shit. That. Man, I cringe, but I deal with it. That's why it's best. To like be in the studio with dudes, man. Because when you sit in the studio with guys, it's a whole different entity. Because they're questioning themselves. They're questioning themselves when they're by themselves and recording. Now, when you're with them, you get to actually be a producer now. You have a choice to be a producer. You got to sit there and be like, hey, you should come in right here. And this is why. Because the cadence of the beat kind of carries your flow right here. Little things like that. I'm good for that. Like you can ask any artist that work with me. I'll run down on them. I'll pull them out the booth. I'll be like, it ain't right. If it don't sound right, I'll tell them it don't sound right and tell them to re-record it. I've done it to legendary dudes, not mentioning their names. I've done it to minuscule dudes that nobody never heard of. I've done it to dudes that people do heard of, and they all appreciate it because I want their shit to be uniform, because if my name is attached to it, I want my shit to be uniform, and I want them to be at their maximum best. As a producer, it's our job to lead these motherfuckers to the right way, the right direction, and we listen to their insight too.
Right. So
because
now go ahead, finish your statement, Wave.
I'm just, that's in general. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, it was just an abrupt stop.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all good.
But like,
you're just chopping it up strictly for my diggers. I'm just asking these questions because you got a lot of up and coming beat makers that's going to be watching this, because this platform is for us diggers.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I mean? For us, and this platform is really to celebrate us. So we can be appreciated, because a lot of times these artists will take the beats, make albums with it, or put out videos and don't list the producer.
Never.
Never. And I don't think we're appreciated like we should be. So this is what this platform is for. It's for us to recognize us.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So when I recognize your talent, and I've been watching you for a while. You know what I mean? Things like that. Man. So when I started this platform, you were definitely one of the ones that I have written down on my list, to get in contact with and chop it up with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
I appreciate that.
Before we go, because like I said, we got beat makers watching. Who right now are you listening to that's out right now as far as beat makers that you like?
Man. Oh, man. Don't hate me for this, man. I don't listen to nobody, bro.
Okay.
I don't listen to nobody, bro. I just listen to old ass records, bro. That's all what I do, because I'm trying to find the next thing, and there's no shade to my peers. Because I have I'll name some guys that's fly as fuck. If you want me to do that, I'll name
Yeah,
some fly
let's
ass
go.
dudes.
Let's go.
I'll name Artevis. I'll name the standouts. I'll name what's my man? What my man? Body bag. What was it?
Body
Who is
bag
it?
Ben.
Spanish Ran.
Spanish
Spanish
Ran.
Ran. Spanish Ran is another one. Who's another one? Who's another one that I know that's for a fact? Seb.
Okay.
Seb Bash. You know, these are Future Wave. These guys are flying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go and just pick, the Alchemists. We know they're fly. But these guys, well, we all know who Future Wave is. But some of these guys need to be, like, man, I can't even think off the top because the adrenaline's pumping, and while I'm thinking, and there's just so many fly ass producers. My man's out on Biscayne Boulevard, just incredible, man. Like, he does records for Tory Lanez and shit, but like niggas don't know that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like, I know a lot of dope ass producers, man.
Right.
But like me personally, like I find myself listening to like really, I catch myself in some hippie. I be in a time capsule, my mans. I really sit here and I feel like it's like, you ever watch some old Vietnam movies and you hear like the music is real detrimental? It's like you hear the soundtrack is detrimental. You hear it and the sound of those times. My living room sounds like that daily. Like I play nothing but like obscure dudes that names you can't even pronounce. You know what I'm saying? Half of these cats I can't even like give out the name because the calligraphy is all because it's not in English, because it's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I find that if I listen to like I used to like chase down other rap artists and other producers' projects and be like, and I try to see what they do. I would look at their videos before I listen to their projects first and foremost. I would listen to their I would look and listen to their visuals. I would do that.
Right.
But just to get inspired from that. But I can't like listen because I feel like in order for me to create wholeheartedly, I need to go in blind. So when I step outside, like when you acknowledging me, it's like a blindsided reaction for me because I didn't know I was going to be acknowledged in that fashion. I appreciate you for that. This is the example I give you with that, what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything I do, I try to do it with a blind mind so it won't throw me off. Because if I see another producer make something I don't want to be discouraged. It's just like when these motherfuckers sit there and they flash their money on the internet. What are they doing to the John Q public? What are they doing to them? It's the same reaction. That's the energy. You know what I'm saying? When you indulge in that bullshit, when you look on the next man's plate, it's gonna make you envious and jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you need to focus on your plate, and I feel like my plate still need to get fixed. It still need to get the right fixing that I need to,
Yeah, true indeed. So
I don't know if that make any sense.
it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. I didn't know what to expect.
Bad man don't watch face. If anything, just to say it's simple, bad man don't watch face, man. That's what I do, man. I just keep. I appreciate. I know who's dope. I acknowledge them. We acknowledge each other. We keep it moving. And I listen to classic obscurity, man. That's Wavy Da Ghawd, man.
Word up. So is there going to be a chronic like album coming out from you where it's just your production and a bunch of different MCs on it? Is that coming soon?
I was planning. I actually am planning a project right now, man. And I could dump this shit right now, but I want to give it a proper rollout. I got a project with Ason Eastwood that's about to drop. I got a project with O-Dog. I don't know if you're familiar with O-Dog. That's Rim the Villain's brother. Like I got a project with him. Dope ass MC, man. He's very multi-dimensional. I got a project with my man Bang Belushi out in Detroit. I got shit coming with my man Emilio Craig, man. I got shit coming with my man's Rome. That right there is roast beef right there. Me and Rome shit is gonna be roast beef. It ain't that cook right. That's how I call our cook. Our cook is just straight roast beef because it takes time to really make some roast beef. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So that right there is gonna be something special. So I got my own compilation project that I got with several of my peers from all over, from the West Coast, from overseas, from wherever. I got a project where I'm thinking about making a series. I got so much music, I could divide it down into probably 3 projects.
Right.
If I do it right, I could probably make a series out of it.
Right.
You know, I know it's Untitled right now. I had a name for it, but unfortunately, another artist, by the will of genius gods, because great minds do think alike, came up with the same name for one of his things, and he's a big ass artist. And I don't want to step on no toes. It's all gravy. So I'm gonna come up with another name that could be cohesive to what I'm trying to put out.
Right. So when you do these joint projects with these MCs or whatever, like you do some with you and Rome Streets, you and Rim the Villain, if y'all put out a whole project together, business wise, is it like you're not selling them these beats, you're actually gonna take all the risk with them and y'all split the profits? Is that how that work? Is that how you get paid?
You always take risks with your brother. I don't sell Rim or Rome any beats. I give them joints because I know I'm in it with them to win it. And I have an understanding that we walk together. You know what I'm saying? We walk together and we talk the movements. When we do things together, we talk the movements and we come up with plans, things that's gonna line all of our pockets together. It's not like an opportunist type deal where it's not like a mercenary production deal. It's like it's more like a what's the word I'm looking for? Mutual. It's mutual because we all have an understanding that all of us together could make something out of this thing. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like it's a given. There's a given bag right there. So we handle like, and we're brothers, man. You make money with your brothers. You make money, you plan with your brothers. You sit at the table, you eat with your brothers, everything. You know what I'm saying? Except take a shit and use the bathroom. That's about it.
True indeed. True indeed. So this is my last question. I'm gonna let you slide off. What advice would you give to the upcoming beat makers today that's trying to get to where you at and or even beyond? What would you tell them?
Consistency. Get the fuck out of the comfort blanket. Be brave and take risk. Those are the 3 things. Consistency, stop being comfortable, be brave and take a risk. That's simple and plain. However their mind computes that shit, that's what it is for me. Because that's what worked for me. I persevered through those 3 things. Like I could have gave up many of times. I could have been comfortable sitting at my mom's crib and be a bum and just make beats in my mom's living room. You know what I'm saying? Could have been comfortable doing that. I could have been scared and not give certain people beats. But I conquered all those things and I just did things wholeheartedly and blindly because my man's tell me this all the time. My man's right here, Emilio, man. He always tell me that. You just work how you say it? With tunnel vision. I forgot how he say it exactly in not layman's, but like exactly how he says it. But he tell me tunnel vision. Just
push the
truck.
button.
They shooting arrows in your back. Just keep running.
Right.
These motherfuckers shoot you in your leg. Fuck it. Skip. One leg. But metaphorically, no bad juju shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, you just got to keep trucking, man. Like, that's all what it is, man, because there's a lot of things that will kick your ass emotionally, mentally, a lot of things that will discourage you, that'll make you not want to fucking do this shit anymore. That'll just make you think around and not put your heart and drive into this shit anymore. Trust me, man. All you got to do is just keep searching for the right people that mesh with you. Search for the right. Don't try to go for the obvious. Try to go for the people that uniform you. You know what I'm saying?
Word up. Well, yo, Wavy Da Ghawd, man. Yo, I appreciate you taking the time to chop it up with me and things like that. Yo, this is a really, really dope interview, man. You really impressed me with your insight and your perspective and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is strictly for my diggers. You know what I mean? That means that's me, anyone who's making beats and just trying to make that real good hip hop, you know?
I appreciate you, man.
Word up.
I appreciate you for having me on there, man.
Most definitely. And we'll stay
appreciation in touch. Is reciprocated, man. I tell you, man.
Absolutely. And we'll stay in touch.
Oh yes, most definitely, man. All right.
All right. Peace, my brother.
Peace, peace.
I'm gonna tell you now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from